immer fin då, bitte.
And now, coming to you live from atop the Goldenrod City radio tower, it's the one, the only, P.U.C.L TCGcast!
Hello, Puckalonians, and welcome to P.U.C.L TCGcast. This is episode 7-2, and it's none other than the time you've been waiting for, the reset review for Unified Minds. It's going to be a fun discussion all about these wonderful new cards that are on our table while we decide whether or not we should buy them or just skip them. With me today to discuss this set review is none other than two of my favorite folks. We got, some say that he counted to infinity twice. It's Sublime Manic.
Hello. How are you?
Hello. Well, I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm so exhausted.
I
just got back on I bought a house, or I'm in the process of that. We're buying a house, and I just spent the last week flying to Portland for an inspection and all this other stuff.
We're gonna be neighbors.
We're gonna be neighbors. I'm so excited.
I am. But you're not the only one here. I'm super excited for my next host because it's either it's the first time we have him on the TCG cast or we haven't had him in a long time to the point where I don't remember. And that is, some say, he's the only man who can kill your imaginary friends. It's Dr. Shamu.
Hello. This is the second time, I think. The other time was a set review for, I think, Dragon the Majesty.
Yeah, I think you've been on it before.
I've been on once at least. I know that. I think it was Dragon Majesty set review is what I did last. It's been a while though.
Yeah, I forget the last episode I recorded.
It's been, I think, over a year. So, cause I think it was like shortly after last PuckleCon.
Oh, so we don't want to talk about that set. That was anyway.
We got Quagsire.
Yeah. Well, Quagsire's good.
Yeah, and Fiery Flint. We got two good cards.
And that was that. Yep, those are your two.
Yeah,
you got two.
Yep, even Kindra. We thought maybe Kindra would do something, but no.
Kindra's fun. It's just not meta enough. It's just not fast enough. It's fun, but that's about it.
So what have you guys been up to? I know we've having a long discussion about the Fire Emblem game.
Three houses!
Yeah.
See, I was at my house while I was trying to get the 3 houses. So it's just houses on top of houses, you know? 3 houses. Black Eagles!
Black Eagles.
There you go.
That's what's up.
What about you, Shemui? Who do you want to root for?
Huh?
Who's the one that you root for?
Oh, Black Eagles.
Black Eagles
Naturally,
too?
Yeah.
When I get that game next week, I'm going to have to check on the Black Eagles then. See how it's going out. But of course, that's Fire Emblem, and we're not here in this show to talk about Fire Emblem. We're here to talk about the Pokemon TCG, and we have a lot to talk about. Unified Minds will be released, or has been released, and we're here to sit down finally with two of my favorite folks to discuss and talk about the cards that were released, whether or not they're worth it, whether or not we find them fun, or whether or not we just should skip them and go to the next one. So with that, let's go ahead and just jump on right in. This is Topical Beach.
Also, this set is huge.
It is.
It needs... too big. Too big.
Ooh, yeah, way too big. And I noticed that this might be the new pattern for Pokemon.
It's hard. It's the struggle.
But yeah, it just makes sets so much harder to get what you want. It's
makes harder for collectors.
It makes you want to buy singles even more when they do them this big, because the chances of you just getting what you need is so much diluted that it's just not even worth it to buy a booster. I don't buy Lost Thunder boosters for exactly the same reason. It's just too many cards. The set is a good set, but because there's so many cards, it's so hard to get what you need.
Well, at least with Lost Thunder now, you've got Custom Catcher, which is actually like a valuable card, which is kind of easy to get. So boosters aren't as bad. It's still not great, obviously, but there's a solid chance.
A non-rare card that is valuable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you're gonna want 4 of them, and then if you do get a Zero Aura, you just made like $25 to $35. Because they're all up there now. Which I think after that, it's just like some other secret rares, and really, the worst battle card to get in that set is Zero Aura and like a Custom Catcher. And then some generic Prism Stars, and like if you haven't bought anything from that set, it's just like the one-ofs and stuff.
It's so great that you only need one of each Prism Star.
It is, and they're really cheap either way. So if
we're out of...
And they're cheap.
They stopped making them now, right? Like, we are officially done with Prism Stars.
Well, at least there was none in this set, as far as I
think they're done.
I think they're done. Because they did a year of Prism... You know how they have, like, a theme each year, right? For a mechanic? Yep. So, last year's was Prism Star, and this year seems to be the tag teams, so...
Yeah, and I think,
I just never put them in it. I never placed them in the same category since, Prism Star can affect trainer cards and stuff, and tag teams are exclusively Pokemon.
But it's like the thing they're doing for the year, so...
Yeah, I don't see it
like the break mechanic was only for 4 sets.
That's what I was going to say, though. You could tell that break mechanics and GX Pokemon weren't supposed to overlap, though, that much.
But because it was the new year, new thing, right? So then we had Sun and Moon, it was GX, then Prism Star, now Tag Team GX.
Well, the question then lies, what's the next thing, right? We do have Dynamax Pokemon going.
Well, you have to realize we have one Tag Team supporter revealed. They might just go with that for the rest of the Tag Team stuff. No more Tag Team Pokemon, you just get the supporters, that's all you get.
Yeah, it could be. It could very well. In that case, let's just go ahead and jump into Unified Minds. This deck has a lot of Psychic. It has a lot of Water.
It's just got a lot of cards. It's got
a lot of cards. But the types where it designate. Let's go just jump right in. And I chose as my first card a very fun one. Not only because of what the card does itself, but also how
it's adorable.
It is adorable.
Oh, I love it.
So adorable. And that is none other than, of course, Psyduck and Slowpoke GX. Psyduck and Slowpoke GX is a water Pokemon basic tag team with an HP of 250, which is low.
It's not that low.
It's not that low.
It's on the lower end, but it's not that low.
Exactly. Yeah. It has 10 more HP than Pikachu, so you really
can't
complain. So it does have just 2 attacks though. But what 2 attacks? First attack for double water. It says Tossing Splash. It does 40 damage times discarded any number of supporter cards from your hand. This attack does 40 damage for each card discarded this way. Already you can tell that this is going to provide a super fun deck. Combine this with Lieutenant Surge and all hell breaks loose. It just seems like a really, really fun deck to do. It's GX attack for double water plus. It says Excitement Time GX. It does 10 damage plus. Flip a coin. If hits, this attack does 100 more damage. If you have at least 6 extra energies attached, which will bring the attack to a whooping 8 energy total, to this Pokemon, in addition to its attack's cost, flip 10 coins instead and do 100 damage for each of those hits. Victini in the bench should be interesting. Water, weakness to grass, resistance to none, retreat cost of 2. I find this card is going to be a lot of fun. I want to hear you guys' opinion on that. Sublime, let's start with you.
So normally I'm down on things that are fun but not good. I'm like, but it's not good.
Yeah.
I think this is really fun. And I actually think it's okay, because there's some other cards that you can pair with it to make a not super consistent deck, but more consistent than you'd probably expect it to be, because you have the Lapras in this set as well. Mm-hmm. Which lets you pull out Misty's Request from your discard pile.
I think the translation.
Misty's Favor?
Yeah, Favor.
Misty's
I think the translation.
Favor. Okay. But, yeah, we have to talk about that card if we're going to talk about this card. Let me pull it up.
It allows you to add
search your deck for up to 3 supporter cards.
Yeah.
Okay, so what you do is you have Perfect World, right? 4 Lapras on the bench with a Psyduck and Slowpoke as your active. You use 1 Misty's Request to search out 3 other supporters. And if you can get all 4 Misty's Requests, your Lapras will pull them all back out every turn. So that's, 160 damage automatically every turn?
Wait, did Lapras take it from the discard?
Yes.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it took it from the discard. I thought it was only from the deck.
Yeah, that's the only reason this deck is viable in my mind.
Well, that is the reason why it's viable.
Yeah.
Oh, you search it for your...
Exactly.
Oh.
And then after you've gotten all 4 going on, you can use 1 per turn to pull out 3 additional supporters
and then
on top of your 4.
Then you're starting to stack
and then then you're starting to hit for numbers.
Yeah.
Plus, if I had to ask you, what is the strongest deck in format right now? What would you say?
It's not a fire type. It's not a fire type whatsoever. No.
Yeah, it's not.
Fire's garbage.
No, but that is like so prominent. It's such a prominent thing.
It
I
is.
think it still has the power right now.
It does.
And this has the advantage on that, which is really good.
Yep. And also the advantage we cannot forget Blacephalon, which is also a strong fire deck that is still going on.
So I would say that this is actually more viable than it should be. And I like it because it's a lot of fun.
Honestly,
super cute.
yeah, I agree.
What about you, Shimu?
I honestly hated this card, but I didn't realize Lapras took it from the discard. Because the thing with Misty's Request you could do too with fun shenanigans is if you do play Surge, because this actually would combo in with Surge if you think about it. Yeah, it would.
It would. I love Surge.
You Surge into Misty's favor, and you add a Lance. And then you can use Lance to get back those Dragonite that allow you to search for any supporter card.
Yeah.
And so then you can be searching for a supporter card you need for the turn, as well as, like, a Misty's Favor, if you need to, from your deck. And then when you use them, you can just kind of keep recycling it with the Lapras.
Yep.
So, like, obviously it's going a bit more, like, you're running some bricks in there by doing that, but this card's discard stuff, and... like, but that would honestly be optimal, being able to get one of those Dragonites on the bench that can just search for
You need a
supporter.
ton of supporters in the deck, though, and I think it's clunky. But
Yeah.
it's still really fun.
Yeah.
And better
could
than
be
it
a lot of
should
fun.
be.
Like I said, we do have other, like the supporter card from Lieutenant Surge. I forgot the Lieutenant Surge something, which allows you to play up to 2 additional supporter cards on that turn.
Mm-hmm.
So having multiple supporter cards on your deck is not necessarily a bad thing, since now there are ways of you actually using multiple of the supporters, either as fodder for Slowpoke and Psyduck to attack, or just use them with Lieutenant Surge, or just ways of just acquiring everything that you need. So overall, what you guys said is exactly why I brought this card. It's just, it is a card, when you look at it, you think, oh, gimmick. But when you look at the current help that it does and the support that it encounters, it's like, oh, wait, this is actually a good gimmick. So...
It's not a winning gimmick, but it's a good...
It kind of reminds me of like what Audino was in the past. Like, it's not the best card, but it's really good for the current meta.
And if you're not prepared against it, you might encounter this being the winner of the 2000. I'm not saying that this particular side
it won't.
It won't win unless
it won't.
But
it's too inconsistent.
Because people don't prepare and don't look at cards like this. These are the circumstances that leads us to having a very obscured gimmick deck as world winner, because people just see it and don't pay any attention in front, and then they're not prepared for it. So Psyduck, for me, I really enjoy. I'm definitely gonna make a deck with this card just to see how much fun it is.
You have to. It's Psyduck and Slowpoke. How could you?
So because it's me, I'm gonna give it a super effective. What about you, Sublime?
Stop. I'm giving it effective, and that's me being nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with effective because it can do a thing.
It can.
There we go.
It's not a garbage card, and most cards are garbage, so automatically you're better than most cards.
Yep. Exactly. Mm-hmm. So that's our first card, Slowpoke and Psyduck and Slowpoke GX. It gets a super effective from me and 2 effectives from Shimu and Sublime. So many S's today too. I'm gonna start confusing. Sorry ahead of time if I call you Sigma or Survival.
And then there was the time you called Sigma me. That was what was even funnier. And then I was on and you called me. So anyway, we laughed.
Moving on to the next one, Sublime. Do you have a top card?
Yes, my girl Tina got a card. If anyone doesn't know, I'm a big fan of a certain legendary that will haunt you, whose name is Giratina.
Oh, I thought you were talking about
Darkrai. Tina. No.
No.
Talking about Tina. My Giratina, who I call Tina. Garchomp and Giratina GX. It's a dragon type, which, usually not that good. But
it gets support.
If you get Psychic on your coverage as your options, you usually can make it work these days.
And you have a card that searches for Dragon or Psychics.
Oh, yep. So we're doing real good. This is your new Malamar partner. Okay. 270 attack, which is pretty good. 2 attacks. They work well together, but there's other things you can do, which I want to talk about. First one is linear attack, which is a colorless energy. So it don't matter what deck you run in, you can do that attack your first turn. This attack does 40 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon, so you can hit the bench. And then you have Calamity Edge, which is a Psychic of Fighting and a colorless, and does 160 damage plus. If your opponent's active Pokemon already has any damage counters on it. This attack does 80 more damage. So let's assume it has just one. You're doing 240 in addition to the 10 already on them, right? So that's hitting for 250.
That's already knocking out Slowpoke and Psyduck GX.
And a lot of GXs. And then it's GX attack is called GG and GX. Discard one of your opponent's Pokemon and all cards attached to them. If this Pokemon has at least 3 extra fighting energy attached to it, you discard 2. And all cards attached to them. I don't care for the GX attack. Anyway. Yeah. Weakness to Fairy, resistance none, retreat 3. It's mostly that I don't like having to have all that fighting energy on it.
Yeah, it's not a really easy way to
I want to pair this with Malamar.
Actually, no, there is an easy way that we don't have it yet, but there will be.
What I'm really excited about this card with is Tina with Tina. Because we have another Giratina card in the format.
Yes.
That throws damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon from the discard pile onto your bench.
I was just thinking the same thing. Yep. There's already a Tina in the game.
It's the Tina Apocalypse, you guys. I'm so excited.
You can literally use, I would say Ultra Ball, but, it's going away. But we do have...
Mysterious Treasure?
We do have Mysterious Treasure, that's
Hapu
true.
is also in the set.
You can go ahead, use Mysterious Treasure, discard the baby Giratina that we already have,
and pull out your Garchomp and Giratina.
Yep, and then use the Mysterious Treasure to pull out that Garchomp, and your Garchomp will be down in, if you set it up with the energy it needs, already potentially hitting for 250 damage, or 240. So,
on top of damage they have on them already, so, you're winning. I like it.
Yeah, it is a strong one. What about you, Shimu?
It's good. This is one of the cards I'm actually excited for to play around with. There's a fun little gimmick you can do with it too. Not that saying Grimbley's a good card. It's not. But you could use that to do some shenanigans with this. Just to
you sure could.
Because it moves 3, I believe. So you essentially move 3 to it, do the Calamity Edge, and that knocks out Reshazard.
Yep.
His Reshazard.
Or you can there's a lot of things you can do with this to hit the counters.
It's a cute deck. Because you can do spread stuff too with trying to punishment that you wouldn't want to run it because you have a GX, but it could still work.
I think it works well for you. It benefits you more than your opponent.
Yeah.
So, probably.
But I like it. I definitely like. What do you give it, Sublime?
Super effective.
Super effective, Shimu?
Same, super effective. This is a good card. It's already seen play in Japan, I believe, too.
Exactly.
Well.
Super effective for me, too. This is definitely a strong, powerful card, guys. And we will see decks around this card for sure. So get yourself a playset of Garchomp and Giratina as soon as you can. Moving on to the next one. Shimu, what's your first top card?
I was going to talk about the other archetype, but I think we should talk about the other dragon in the set or one of the 2 dragons I'm excited for. Haxorus.
Yes.
So, it's a stage 2 with 150 HP. It's got, its ability is Grinder Up. Once during your turn, you may discard a stadium card in play. If you do, attach up to 3 any combination of fire or metal energy cards, or metal and fire energy cards from your hand to this Pokemon. And for 1 fire and 1 metal, it does Powerful Axe, which is 10 plus damage. It does 40 more damage for each basic energy attached to this Pokemon. It's a weakness to Fairy, no resistance, retreat 3. So, one thing too, you can get rid of Prism Star Stadiums with this. So you can use your opponent's stadiums to abuse this. Mm-hmm. And, there is a card coming out in, I think they're Cosmic Eclipse. It's in Dream League for Japan. Ends Resolve. And just as a brief overview, we won't have this for a while, because this also does support Garchomp Giratina. But what you do is you discard the top 6 cards of your deck, and any basic energy, you attach it to a bench dragon. So we'll say, let's just say we'll go in like an optimal saying here. You have your Haxorus. You attach 1 energy. Then you do Grinder Up for the 3 from your hand. Because you also have Fiery Flint, you have Fire Crystal, you have Fire Support, so you can be searching your fire stuff. Welder's a thing too.
More on it.
You've got Mount Coronet. You've got the oven, the big oven that came out in the set too. So you have stadiums that can recycle your energy for both fire and metal, and then just discard them so your opponent can't use them if they're playing the same deck or whatnot. But we'll just say you attach 1, you do a manual, you do a Grinder Up, so you got 4 energy. And then you play End Resolve and you mill 3 basic energy. Then you attach it to that Haxorus. That Haxorus will hit for 270.
Yep.
And even then, worst case...
For 1 prize.
For 1 prize. And worst case...
it's not a GX.
It does, I think 170 with a manual and hitting the 3.
And it has 1... we must not lose focus of the 150 HP for stage 2, which is pretty high. It puts you over the edge of many of the Pokemon that are designed to 2-hit KOs. GX, it was still 2-hit KOs because many just hit for 120, 130. And, Choice Band or other things like that won't really help you in this case, since this Haxorus is just a measly baby Haxorus.
It is nice, but at the same time, there are, Pikarom and Blacephalon will hit you and kill you for either... well, it's actually...
Instant,
yeah. Blacephalon discards 3,
Those decks are so fast.
Yeah, that's the only issue against it, but there is also... You do have some random dragon support, you have Lance. So you could literally be using a Lance with this and being a recurring from the discard. So it's is it the best card? No, but I think it's solid for what it is, and I'm excited.
What
to play
about
with
you,
this.
Sublime? What do you think?
I love something that has an infinite damage option. I don't think this is gonna be good.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the amount of energy trying to get it there in 1 turn is a lot to ask, and it's going to get killed by all our tag teams in 1 shot, pretty much.
Fair enough.
I think it's too slow to get where it wants to be.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. I just like this card. I've been excited for this for a while.
Yeah, so. It does have a lot of potential. I've learned not to underestimate stage 2's non-GX Pokemon. Very candy can get you in there really quick, and there is multiple ways that you can energy accelerate nowadays. However, we are in a very competitive field, and there are just many Pokemon that can really destroy this without even thinking twice. And the problem is not even necessarily that. My biggest problem with this card is the fact that it's Dragon. So it doesn't gain super effective on anything.
That doesn't seem that other relevant dragons. To me if you're getting the 1-shot.
Well, it is if you require me to drop 5 enemies versus just 2 or 1. What I would need if this would have been just a plain fire or a plain water or something that I could have 1-hit KO with a lot less energies. That is an advantage that shouldn't be overlooked. The fact that Dragon has advantage over nothing but Dragon and barely we're playing Dragons.
It really doesn't
even
have
that
advantage on Dragon anymore, ever since they lost Fairies.
Yeah, that's true, because, Dragons are weak against Fairy usually. So that's where I always land with Dragon Pokemon. Not the case, of course, with the one that we just discarded with Tina.
I mean, think
and
about
Garchomp
Ultra makes it work too, right? So
correct. There's ways of doing it. I just believe that Haxorus doesn't have that way open to it. But it is still a really decent card, which I actually do enjoy, much like Dr. Shamu says. So, Shamu, what's your rating on this?
Effective. It's not great. It's not horrible. But it's not really... It's in the middle. Yeah.
What about you, Sublime?
It's not very effective for me. It's not going to see play, I don't think.
I'm going to go with effective because I do like its ability. Once during your turn, you may discard Stadium card. I am beginning to be a fan of the newest Marshadow that was introduced. That has the ability that allows you to just discard at Stadium. It really comes in handy when those Prism Star Stadiums comes down.
Yeah, but that's also a basic that can go in any
no, true. But the fact that this
attack
has it as because you don't have to discard Haxorus. It will continue on in your bench.
Yeah, but
the
you
other
can
one
throw that in any deck. You have to build around this.
True. True. I just mentioned it. It's like a nice addition to it, but the focus of it is really its attack. With that being said, that's it. I do give it an effective as well. So 2 effectives and 1 not very effective for Haxorus. So let's go back to me, actually, and I have another one that I want to discuss, and I'm going to go with a baby form too. Let's jump around. I'm going to edit that thing out. So, Golisopod is an interesting one that is coming in this set. It is a water Golisopod, which is always fun. HP of 140, which is pretty high for a stage 1, might I remind you guys. And it has 1 attack and 1 ability. Its ability, what you would expect from it is emergency exit. If this Pokemon has 2 or less energies attached to it, it has no retreat cost. Then, its other attack is First Impression. It has 1 water and 3 colorless. It has 120 damage. If this Pokemon was on your bench and became your active Pokemon this turn, this attack does 60 more for a total of 180. Weakness to grass, resistance to none, retreat cost of 4. The reason I add this because I see a lot of good potential. First, I am channeling the spirit of Basket in this show and needing to mention Golisopod.
Love you, Basket.
Love you.
Can't wait to be your neighbor too.
Yay! Yes, so close. First Impressions is incredibly good, doing 180. Now you might think, 4 energies, 1 water, 3 colorless. That's a lot. Yeah, well, yes. However, we do have that triple energy acceleration. Which
that's the only reason it's viable, because after you discard it, it goes back to having the free retreat code.
Exactly. That's the reason why it's viable. But in doing 180 with absolutely no help other than the fact that it just comes in, it is great. Now, I do have to give out or throw out there that we are approaching rotation, which means Guzma is no longer going to be a thing. And it should be something that should be noticed, but this little guy might not actually need that. So, I'm going to throw it out you guys and start with Shamu first. What do you think about good old Golisopod here?
I love this, because even then, like, your basic strategy is to do triple acceleration and have it retreat itself. Yep. But even then, with those, you're going to want to run switches, just to have. And you can always even put in Quagsire, so for worst case, you can't get a triple acceleration. You can use the water energy, put it on it, and start switching it around. Like, yes, Guzma not having that sucks, not having, like, escape ropes and such, but, like, you still have options with it via just water and, like, just the water toolbox kind of thing with it. And with the retreat of 4, you can search it out with Pokemaniac.
Yes.
I think Pokemaniac searches for like 2. I'll check that.
Also,
real quick.
don't grass types have? No, this is a water type. Never.
It's 3.
It's 3.
So sorry, Sublime. What were you saying?
I was thinking, but plus grass type has pretty good searching, but then I realized it was a water type.
It is. It is worth noting though, and this is not much to say. I mean, but I would like to say that the Wimpod, it comes in, it has a high HP, which I was surprised, with a 70, which it's not entirely a good thing, because it does, it's 10 HP away from being searched for a Professor Elm.
Yeah, that would make it
for
real
example.
Good.
Yeah, but its attack, Sun attack, for 1 water only, does 10 damage, and if the defending Pokemon tries to attack on your opponent next turn, your opponent flips a coin. If Tails, it does nothing. It's kind of like the Whimsicott, a GX. So it does, and of course, we're not talking about doing this like 10 turns into the game.
But like, it can maybe buy you a turn. Sure.
Yeah, it's what it's meant to do.
But if you're starting with it, if you're starting with it in your second turn and you're able to, it could actually provide you 1 extra turn where you can put that Golisopod down after that 1 turn that you sand attack them. So for turn 1 or turn 2 attacks, this is definitely a good Wimpod to start with.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sublime, what about you? What do you think about the Golisopod?
180 on turn 2 seems viable and good. I just don't know if this will have the staying power, because you're very reliant on triple energy acceleration.
The stamina.
And you only get so many of those, right? So after that, it stops being good real fast.
You have to rely on the switch Quagsire.
So it's just a question: is this enough? Early on to push you ahead, and I can't tell if it is or not. I think
it is with Golisopod. I'm sorry, with Quagsire, like Shamu said.
I think Quagsire is about to be a lot less good though after rotation. So
You were losing Aqua. Are we losing Aqua?
We're losing
Patch?
a lot of things that made it
Aqua
easy to
Patch,
search
yeah.
for it. I just don't see this being like in a deck that's fast or consistent.
We do.
Okay.
Yeah, we
In
lose
spite of
Aqua
its
Patch,
attack
but-
being so fast and consistent, it's the deck itself I don't think will be very fast or consistent.
That's understandable. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and give it I'm gonna go with a solid, effective. I see this being one of those tricky main attackers or secondary attackers that people really underestimate, and I think this Galisabad is going to be. Water has had the support for a long while. Granted, we're gonna lose some of that support post rotation, but I do believe that maybe we still have enough to make this a successful, at least secondary attacker, if not a main attacker in one or two decks. So effective for me. What about you, Shamu?
I'm gonna say effective because as you're saying, like secondary attacker, I even thought it might be fun to play this with Nido Queen.
Yeah,
They have a weird just a water attacker just to do something there. Like it almost without the extra damage. It almost kills Reshazard. So it's a fun card.
It definitely is. What about you, Sublime?
I guess I'll give it an effective. For me, it's between not very effective and effective. Like, it's in between them.
Okay, there you go. So we got three effective for Galisapod, being one of the water Pokemon that we really might see a little bit more coming out in the future games. Now, moving on to the next one, Sublime. What's your next Pokemon? Or trainer card?
What is my next one? Let me see. Actually, yeah, let's do a trainer card. I want to talk about Hapu.
Hapu.
Hapu is a supporter card that says, look at the top 6 cards of your deck and put 2 of them into your hand. Discard the rest.
That's
really deep digging for specific key pieces you need. That is
Yes.
thinning out your deck,
Mm-hmm.
which is so strong for a lot of decks right now. There's a lot of decks that can use the discard pile as a resource. This helps them simultaneously get pieces they want, going through a lot of cards to get what you want, and putting other things in your discard pile that you might want there on top. I think, especially because we're losing so many good cards for searching in the rotation, I think this helps, and I think it's going to see play for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you there. Anything that allows me to grab whatever I want from my deck or putting in my deck, or in my discard whatever I want, it's always going to be really good. Watch out that you don't empty your deck doing that, of course. But do not underestimate the power of you just... I've always found it fun, or funny, that a Great Ball has been around for a while, and people really ignore it because of the existence of Ultra Ball.
As they should.
However, when you come down to the pipe, searching your next 6 to 7 cards for something that you need turns out to be a really powerful way of doing it. It's just that we've had so many direct searches in the past, such as computer search and Ultra Balls and those type. It wasn't something until something dropped like Max Elixir, for example, that we started to see, hey, you searching your next 7 cards for something that could be useful actually is very good. I think Hapu is going to tap into that, and it's definitely going to be at the very least, a one-off in some decks.
I think it's going to be a main searching card for a lot of decks, actually.
I
More than
think
a 1. 2 to 3.
I would say 2 at max for a lot of, most just generic decks.
I'd say at least 2. You don't want just 1.
Yeah, you don't want 1, but you don't want 4. I would say most mainstream decks might run 2.
2 to 3.
Just to have
depending
something.
on how much you get out of it, right?
Is that
I think
too?
the Dark Toolbox really benefits from it.
It helps, yeah.
I think the Giratina we discussed earlier really benefits from it. So there's some decks that want to run more than others. If you're running it, you probably run more than 1.
Yeah, I don't see you running just a single copy of this. There will be some decks that come out probably later on that will love this card even more.
Yep.
Well, even the gimmicky ones that we have now, I'm sure that Executor, the one that requires you to have multiple energy cards in your discard pile to deal damage, I'm sure it will love Hapu.
I mean, think about it. Think about the Night March era. What was the most prominent card in every deck?
Battle Compressor.
Exactly.
Yeah. The biggest thing with Battle Compressors, you got to choose, though. That's the thing. You
did. Well,
yeah.
you get to choose. You do get to choose also, though. You're looking at 6.
It's more or less
you're kind of choosing the 4 you want.
You're choosing from a limited source.
Yeah.
It is still a choice, though. So.
Oh, you get a choice.
Even,
yes.
Acrobike is an extremely good card. And that's only 2, right?
Yeah,
So.
Yeah.
because it comes down to, like, oh, I can afford to discard 1, compared to, oh, I have to keep 2 of these, and the rest of these go away. And in certain decks that can't retrieve those, that's an issue.
Yeah, it depends on the deck you're
and
running,
it does depend.
Sure.
Like, some decks will just run it because, like, it's a risky power card. Like, hey, I could play this, and, like, I could get the luck of the draw.
Acceleration, consistency... Yeah.
Like, I can get that Pokemon I need to evolve, or that other, like, I can get that other trainer I needed, like that switch, I can get that energy, like, because it's any 2 cards, so that's the best part of it. It's just...
Extremely.
It still is a risky card, because, like, what if, like, oh, I need a trainer, and I get all of my supporters. Or, like, I need, I'm, like, really bad with energy. And you get 6 energy. You at least get those 2, but there's 4 energy now in your discard that if you don't have a deck that can retrieve those...
If you have the top 6 as energy you need an energy, I feel like a lot of this is the deck you're building.
It's one of those things, too. You can get those bad hands,
If you have a bad deck list, sure. But, like, statistically...
I know. This is the very, like, 1% chance. It's not... Probably less than that, but it's just that aspect of you could literally just get a crap selection. And
that can happen whether you run this or not, though.
It does. Also. It does. It just depends if you want to risk having cards you might need later in your discard. Like, certain decks will run it, certain decks won't. It's still not a bad card. It's just the choice.
Yeah. Yeah. So what we're going to have and give it, Sublime?
I'm going to give it a super effective. This card is gonna save play.
I'm going to give it a super effective as well. What about you, Shamu?
But it's a good card. It's still super effective. It's just, there are risks. I'm just trying to cover the risks first for
It's not for everything, but this is a super effective card.
There you go. You got Hapu, the first supporter we review here, and it is being given a super effective across the board. So go ahead, guys, and get yourself a set of these, actually. So, Shamu, what's your next card?
Let's talk about a little tech here. Jirachi GX. It's a psychic with 160 HP. We'll save the ability for last. It's for 1 psychic energy. You do Star Search, search your deck for an energy card, and attach it to one of your psychic Pokemon, then shuffle to your deck. Not great, but it's there at least.
It's something.
Yeah. Your GX attack, Star Shield GX. It's 3 psychic energy. It does 100 damage. Prevent all effects of attacks, including damage done to this Pokemon during your opponent's next turn. Its weakness is Psychic, its retreat is 1. You probably wouldn't use that GX attack unless you're running it in a Psychic deck, or if we used to get some weird deck that's a Rainbow deck or something, that could just use Rainbow energies like no business. But the reason you run this is for its ability, which is Psychic Zone. If a Pokemon with a Psychic weakness receives damage from an attack, don't apply a weakness. So... this is nice for Psychic decks in a way, but I don't think it really shines in Psychic decks. It more or less shines in a fighting deck that actually has a Psychic weakness. Yes. Because the thing is, it doesn't say Psychic Pokemon's weakness, it says a Pokemon with a Psychic weakness. Yep. So you get a dragon that's got a Psychic weakness. Wouldn't happen. But you don't get weak. Essentially, it nullifies any Psychic weakness, which is honestly fantastic. And even itself. Yeah. So you can't just one-shot it with a, like, unless Naganadele's got its, 3 prize card thing, it's not gonna get knocked out.
Yeah.
So, like, it's a solid card. Is it gonna see, like, a lot of play? I don't seem to see a huge amount other than in, like, the Mewtwo decks. Yeah. Because even then, it also applies to the opponent. So I don't know if they want to be doing that. It's a very, like... I don't want to say it's a coin flip. It kind of reminds me of like
It's also a GX Pokemon with only 160 HP.
It is. It's not meant to be like on your main line. It's meant to be like on your bench as a... because that's a strong ability, you gotta say. Like
it is. But like it's also a liability.
Oh, it is a liability. Yeah, you're taking a risk with it. Yeah. At least it doesn't have a weakness unless they ability cancel.
Although you don't need a weakness to hit 160 either.
Oh, no, you don't. No, definitely not in this format. It's just the fact that if something's relying on that weakness to get the kill, it won't.
Yeah, it would make it a little bit difficult. If your idea is playing Jirachi GX on a mirror, on your Psychic deck in case you encounter a mirror, match.
You're helping both people, so...
Yeah, exactly. You're helping
the only
your
difference
opponent
is
as well.
You're helping both people and you're giving them a 162 prize card.
Yeah, and Acerola is getting rotated out, so getting those Pokemon back into your hand, not as easy as it might seem. Also including because of the addition of Mr. Mime, which basically doesn't allow you to bring anything back into your hand if your opponent plays
scoop
Mr.
up
Mime.
block.
So
Yeah.
So whether or not you play Jirachi is really, really weird, but like Shamu said, it might actually shine a lot if you put it on those fighting decks that do have a majority. I mean, if Buswell was going to remain after rotation, Buswell will be loving Jirachi GX. Because it will basically make him like super powerful. Not having that psychic.
It really
weakness.
depends if we get like another fighting deck like that sometime
what
soon.
If I told you there was a card in this set that could get rid of your weakness for your Pokemon, and not just for psychic Pokemon?
Ooh, do tell.
Oh yeah,
weakness guard energy.
Yep.
I don't think this is good because, like, why wouldn't you just run weakness guard energy?
That's fair too, though.
Yeah.
Okay, it just comes down to if you want to have that special energy attached, though. That's the thing. Because there are.
Yeah.
Do we have any special energy walls right now? I don't think we have any now. But
there might be some things to get rid of it, but like most decks don't run hardly any special energy except for like the Whimsicott GX, which is a gimmick deck.
It's
also depends on whether or not Honchkrow GX picks up.
Well, here's the thing: if special energy picks up, Honchkrow will pick up.
Yeah,
that's how that works.
It's one of those things. You're running one liability over another. So I think the weakness card's a much safer option.
It is because it doesn't cost you 2 prize cards.
It doesn't cost you 2 prize cards. Yeah, but you also got the only I think the only like common gusting we have though now is Custom Catcher,
which is very prominent.
It's very prominent now, but they only get 2 uses of it, which is probably all you need. But nonetheless,
I'd rather have a
I would rather
energy that can be discarded than a 2 prize GX 160 HP.
Oh, I don't doubt that. I agree with that. It's just options. You also can search this out.
Decisions.
That's one thing. Thinking about it.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and rate this one. What do you rate it, Shimu?
I'm gonna say effective. It's again, it has weaknesses itself, not via type really, but like it's got its own issues. But I think it'll still.
Yeah, as an attacker, you don't want to use it ever.
It's
coming down to warm your bench.
It's literally warming your bench, or if you start with it, you can at least attach an energy to something. And then retreat it.
You can accelerate, accelerate
quickly,
but then,
and it is searchable too, though, if you run it in Psychic decks with Mysterious Treasure, at the very least.
Okay.
So.
What about you, Sublime?
Not very effective. Go play regular Jirachi instead.
Yes. And I also play as not very effective. I mean, it could work in a fire in a fire deck.
Fighting.
Wow, fighting. Thank you. In a fighting deck. However, it's just I think if it were just a regular Jirachi, I would say yes, totally super effective. GX for just not giving
it's understandable
weakness. It's just such a
especially because there's other ways to get its effect. So.
Yep, and because now with a Guzma out, without Acerola and other methods of you just getting rid of Pokemon that are easily targetable, it's just it is a giant gamble that you're playing it right now. So there you have it, guys. That's Jirachi GX. Now, which leads me to, I wanted to follow that up with Mewtwo and Mew GX because we're talking about Psychic Pokemon, but we're also I'm actually gonna talk about another one that is more Jirachi related, and that's U-Turn Boat, the trainer card. Now, this is an item card, a tool. It says you can attach it to one of your Pokemon, and it says the retreat cost of this Pokemon, of the Pokemon this card is attached to, is one colorless less. You might actually, this might remind you of a different card. If this card will go to your discard pile from in play, put it back into your hand instead. This is basically a skateboard, but better.
But not better also, because doesn't a skateboard reduce it by 2?
No, it's 1.
No, it's just 1.
Okay.
It's 100% better. Yeah, so
well...
The arrival of Jirachi was really worried. So, the arrival of Jirachi right, was a big deal. Jirachi, the baby, of course, we're talking about the Jirachi that allows you to search the top 6 cards from your
I think it's top 5
deck. Top 5 was it?
It's top 5, yeah.
Top 5 cards from your deck. Pick any trainer cards, put it into your hand. Fantastic card. We paired it up with a skateboard, which is basically the Pokemon that is attached to.
Well, you have to pair it with the skateboard. You couldn't pair it with this. That's important to note.
Yeah. Well, the biggest difference is that skateboard allows you to switch, even though paralyzing or sleep is a thing, which is a problem with
Jirachi's ability puts it to sleep after you use it. That's the only reason Jirachi's usable at all is because of the escape board.
Correct. However, it is still nice to have a tool that gives you the ability to this. Zapdos would love this. Zapdos also requires. Oh, actually, Zapdos requires 2 colorless to right. Was it just 1?
Even then, it still is fine for it because you just attach an energy. You're having 1 energy on it, only. That's all you're having on it. So worst case, you just attach an energy again, or if you've got even something. True,
Prism, but if you don't have to discard it though, having free retreat cost is something that is incredible.
Oh, it's much better. It's just the fact that it's not 1 is not gonna kill it. Having 1 retreat cost is not gonna kill it like Zapdos.
Yeah.
Okay. Although Zapdos also is usually run with the Zero Aura GX. So.
Yes.
So you get the free retreat from that. It's just other options to get that retreat down, which is always safe.
Sublime, what do you think?
I don't think this will be good until skateboard rotates.
Well, that will be soon.
But when that happens, is it?
No, it came out in Ultra Prism or Forbidden Light. It's around for a while.
So I think this card will see play
after it's going to be rotating out.
Yeah, in a year.
Skateboard is rotating. No, it's rotating in this. Yeah,
it shouldn't be.
I don't think it is.
It should be at least Ultra Prism.
Skateboard came out in Ultra Prism.
That's not rotating.
Yeah, it's everything before Ultra Prism.
Yep.
I was lied to.
You were
or not lied to. I didn't read well. Because my understanding is that it was going to be rotated out.
Yeah.
And people were worried that Jirachi was not going to be as useful because the skateboard was rotating out.
As soon as that rotates, Jirachi's dead in the water. But this will be good when that leaves. And until that's what I think.
I still think it's a good card,
there you go.
honestly.
That changed my perspective. For whatever reason, I was under the understanding that skateboard was going to be rotated out. If that's not the case, then this card is not as good as I thought it was going to be. So, not very effective for me for now.
Yep.
I'm going to call it effective just because some decks don't need to have that status escaping, and they would rather have this running, if they need that, 1 less retreat cost and they don't want Zero Aura. Yeah. This would be, instead of running 4 skateboard, they could just run 2 of these, because as long as they get it into play, it comes right back. And it gives them more deck space.
Yeah, it comes right back, yep.
So, I think it's still a card. I'd probably run this over a skateboard if I needed this retreat cost over the status issue.
A lot of decks don't even have retreat costs at all, though, right?
A lot of them are trying to avoid it.
For free.
Dark gets it for free, though, now, which is nice.
Lightning gets it for free.
It's for things like that, I don't know anything off the top of my head other than some random support cards that would probably, some techs that would use it. But even then, I still think I don't think it's a bad card, but I don't think it's super good, so I'm just going to say effective. It's middle of the water for me.
What about you, Sublime?
For me, it is not very effective, but could be reassessed in over a year when we have the rotation after this one.
There we go, guys. Well, same thing with me. U-turn board. Wow, I couldn't really say that well. U-turn board.
It sounds like you did a U-turn on U-turn board.
I did. Under the false premise that I thought a skateboard was not going to be a thing, which I just revealed that it was.
If that wasn't going to be a thing, Jirachi wouldn't be so damn expensive right now.
Yeah, that is the thing. So there you have it, guys. That's U-turn board. It's something that you might, for whatever reason, my brain reads U-turn board, but my mouth wants to say U-turn boat. Don't know why. With that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Take it away, Sublime.
All right, we need to talk. We need to talk as friends, because I've said some things about friends on this podcast and fossils.
We have, yes. We have.
And friends are not supposed to let friends play fossils, right?
Do tell.
But I'm going to add an addendum to that now. It's got an additional thing. It says, friends don't let friends play fossils without Pokemon Research Lab.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So let's talk about a stadium that's coming out in this set. Pokemon Research Lab says once during each player's turn, that player may search their deck for up to 2 cards that evolve from unidentified fossil and play them onto their bench. Yeah. Then that player shuffles their deck and their turn, this is important, their turn ends.
Yes.
This card stays in play when you play it. Discard this card if another stadium card comes into play. Yeah. So I also want to talk about this with what I think is the best thing to pair it with, and frankly, I think the only fossil that we'll see consistent play. And that is Aerodactyl GX, because it is a stage 1, so you can play it immediately with the stadium.
Yeah.
Has an ability, Prehistoric Wind. Also, it's a fighting type with 210 HP, so that's good. I guess. It's basically a basic for this, so it's like basically a 210 basic. Right. Prehistoric Wind. As long as this Pokemon is your active, the attacks of your opponent's basic Pokemon cost a colorless additional energy more.
Ooh,
yeah.
Okay.
It's got my least favorite attack number at the moment, which is Rock Smash, does 120 for a fighting and 2 colorless. And then its GX attack is Wild Dive GX, which does 50 damage times the amount of energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. And they're going to need a lot of energy because their attacks will be costing 1 more. Weak to Grass.
Which is interesting.
Retreat cost of 0.
Which is very, very interesting.
Yeah, so let's talk about fossils for a bit. Pokemon Research Lab, I think, is the best way to play them in an extremely long time. Yep. It's not an auto... It doesn't automatically make fossils good, I have to say.
No. It will make one fossil Pokemon good.
Yeah, but the thing is, exactly... Oh my god, your turn ends immediately. Okay?
Hurts.
You can't start with the fossil, so you're going to need other Pokemon, right? There's a lot of rules if you want to make it work. But I do think that we're living in a time, I cannot believe it, we are living in a time where you can play fossils.
Yes, you can. There are multiple...
There are a lot of fossils in rotation right now. I think the only one that this is going to see success with is Aerodactyl GX, and maybe pair it with one other one.
You would pair it with the baby Aerodactyl. It's way better.
Baby Aerodactyl is fantastic.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that one. You're right.
Yes, the second attack, first attack is supersonic. Forget about that. But the second attack for Baby Aerodactyl, this is of course the one that came out in Team Up.
It's colorless, right?
It's Fossil Fangs. It uses 3 energies, which is Solve Triple Acceleration energy. But it does 90, and if you don't have any Pokemon GX or EX in your bench, this attack does 90 more. So it's a baby Pokemon stage 1 fossil that does 180 per hit, which is pretty insane. Not to mention that the other fossils are nothing to scoff at either. I mean, Kabutops has the ability to fossilize.
Keep in mind, those are stage 2s also.
Yeah, they are. They are. As long as this is your active Pokemon, your opponent can't play any supporter cards from their hand. Is something that is pretty powerful as well. But I do agree that Aerodactyl is the likely contender. That this is definite. Both the baby and the GX to some extent are going to take some advantage of this for sure.
They're faster, and Pokemon Research Lab, although it gets your fossils out faster, it is slow and clunky, and if you do not pull a Pokemon Research Lab on turn 1, you're screwed.
But we have a card to help that, though.
We sure do.
Exploration.
That's true, and you're going to have to run a lot of them.
Yeah, you're pretty much probably running 4 Jirachi and 4 of those.
I was going to say
4 green explorations, 4 Jirachis, yeah.
There's one that lets you flip coins to pull stages.
That's what I was talking about. Yeah, that just came out. Yeah. It's like I don't know what it's called exactly. I can look into it.
It's like DexNav or PokeNav or something.
It's a nav.
Yeah. One of those.
Let's see what it's called real quick.
I think it lets you flip 2 coins and for each chance you can search for
that's what it does. I'm just trying to find the name of it. Where is it? Yeah. It is Stadium Nav. Yeah, flip 2 coins for each head. Search your deck for a stadium. Reveal it. Put it in your hand. Then shuffle.
Yeah, so you need to put in as many cards that let you search for this stadium as possible, because if you do not play this your first turn, you're coming from behind. And you're already coming from behind if you're doing this. Yeah. I think it's effective. I don't think fossils are going to be top tier, but they're playable. They did become playable.
And remember, we did mention that being a stage 2 is an issue. However, let us remind ourselves that Frogadier is what made Greninja happen, and the fact that in turn 1 you can maybe have those Ammonites and Kabutos.
Well, also,
in turn 2, you can evolve them to their stage 2.
Talonflame
not
made
actually
Greninja happen.
Pretty bad. It's not bad at all. It's actually pretty good. So, Pokemon Research Lab may breathe some life into those stage 2 fossils, which we already knew we had, because Amistar is also a fantastic, powerful Pokemon. Let me see if I can get it real quick.
Is it the one that doesn't let your opponent play items?
Yeah.
Yep.
They can't play items if they have more Pokemon than you.
Yeah, as long as you have fewer Pokemon in play than your opponent, they can't play any item cards. Kabutos can't play any supporter cards, and potentially with Professor Lab, you can gain both Kabuto and Omastar in turn 2.
Well, you're ending your. It's gonna be.
You're ending. Well,
clunky.
It's gonna be on your first turn
tricky.
anyway.
It's essentially the first turn play, and after that, it's complete.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you want more fossils, I don't know how good it's going to be. I think they're playable. I don't think they're great.
Well,
I think they're playable.
The good thing about do you start your game with fossils? Can you start it with the fossils?
No,
you
cannot.
cannot.
So
you cannot.
That very well there is an advantage, because it means you can put Jirachis as your starter, which means that you can, with 4 Jirachis and nothing else, your basic starter could be Jirachi. That puts you there right there. You put a 4 set of green explorations, right? Jirachi.
No, you can't do it.
Sorry, I forgot. So you can't start with Jirachi if you're going to play Green's exploration. But any other Pokemon, Green Exploration, grab the lab, grab a fossil if need be, put them down, put the lab down, search your deck for 2 of those, Kabuto and an Amistar. You pass your first turn, second turn comes in, and you have already Kabutops, and you can search for an Amistar and Kabutops, and have already, your opponent can't play any supporter cards, your opponent can't play any item cards turn 2.
You're also telegraphing to your opponent. There's a lot. I don't think it's going to be a top tier deck. I think it's going to be playable.
Yes, I 100% agree with you there. Don't misunderstand me.
And it's a lot of work to do for.
But this is reminding me when Talonflame brought life into Rampardos decks, and fossils were per moment fun and actual legit to play. Not that you were going to win any big championship, but they were.
No, they were fun. That was all they were. This is the only time fossils have been legit to play, and I don't even know how long.
Well, let's go ahead and then give it the rating. Go ahead, Sublime.
It's effective.
So, Shamu?
I'm going to say effective, but one thing I want to mention is that the only good thing, honestly, about the Aerodactyl GX is that it kills Pikarom. Because it is a fighting type Aerodactyl.
Pikarom, yeah.
But it's like, you run that one or you run the baby. I don't see you running both. It's like
you might do
it's gonna be one of those decks that
choose one or
people will just have to optimize. Like it's gonna take a while to optimize that deck.
There's gonna be a lot of experimentation for what will do well with that, and I don't even think the ceiling is very high.
And by the time it's done, it'll be rotated.
Output,
that's the issue.
They're playable though, so if you want to play fossils, if I'm your friend, I'm letting you play it if you play this.
There you go, guys. I will also give it an effective, almost super effective, just because it is fossil.
You just want it to be good. You want it to be better than it is.
I want it to win.
I'm giving you this, friends. We'll let friends play fossils with this, okay? Don't push your luck. Don't push your luck.
As far as I'm gonna have Sublime go.
Do we have Auroras in rotation? Can I play Auroras?
Well, let's
Expanded will be interesting.
Shamu, what's your next card?
Oh, let me see. What do I have left here? I want to talk about something interesting because we got rid of these cards a while back in Steam Siege was the last that we had them in, I think.
I think so.
We have Magnezone.
Yes. Okay.
So its gimmick is double type. It's a lightning and a metal type Pokemon. For 1 lightning and 2 colorless, does Magnet Bolt for 120. Search your discard for a trainer card, show it to your opponent, add it in your hand. It's weak to fighting, resistant to metal, 3 retreat. I don't think this is a very good card. I will state that now.
It's not.
But it's just the fact that I want to mention it because we've got double type coming back. Because there's other cards too later. I think there's a Gallade that comes out with fighting and psychic.
Yeah. And we had not too long ago, maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah.
The dual cards, that the cards themselves were 2 types.
Exactly.
I think that's what he was referring to.
That's kind of that's Steam Siege with the last one we got the dual types in. Yeah,
because Volcanion was like the fire card to play, and it was a fire water.
Type, that's why I kind of
Gallade. We didn't get a Gallade card, but there is one coming out later on. I think it's in our next set. I think it's.
Gotcha.
It's in Cosmic Eclipse, I think, or currently in Japan Dream League. But I just want to mention it because with Lightning and Metal too, you get a lot of synergy with this. You get access to what's it called? What's that item card? The Full Metal
Both
Barrier?
Lightning and Metal have a lot of support.
So I don't think it's going to be like a top tier deck, obviously. It won't be. It's just the fact that you could do some fun shenanigans with this, with things like Thunder Prism Mountain. You can, you have access to
it can bring back the electro powers that it uses.
And that's true, too. So you can be hitting for 150. You could be doing for 2
that's
energy, too.
Good.
It's not great, but
that's still not
good.
Good.
This could be a fun card to play around with. I just feel like there's options, and the fact that this double type is coming back, there might be more than just this Net Gallade, and we never know. There might be something that comes back that's just broken.
You might want to combine this with other Magnet,
but it won't be this.
No, if it was not like a stage 2, it would be so much better.
Yeah,
but
stage 2.
For sure.
It's just the fact that it's a stage 2,
attack.
and its attack would be only good as like a 1 energy or 2 energy thing or something. It's very it's clunky. I'm not going to deny it. It's not very effective.
You're just excited for double types, right?
That's pretty much what it is. I'm excited because Lightning and Metal both have fantastic support, and I feel like
yes. Although unfortunately, it can only benefit from one or the other because you're not going to run a Lightning Metal deck just to make Magnezone shine. I would think.
Yeah,
you might. I might.
It's either a mediocre Lightning type or a mediocre Metal.
I mean,
type.
Why not?
I just feel like you do some shenanigans with Lucario and
it can be bad in both types.
Yeah. Or Corio's a fantastic card, that card got reincarnated lately. Actually, we don't. It's again Dream League, but that card's coming back soon, and I'm excited.
Yeah.
Well, there you got it. You got not very effective from Shamu, Sublime.
Not very effective.
Not very effective from me.
But double types are fun, so
they are fun, and those 2 types are fun. Both Lightning and Metal have a lot of support.
Yeah.
So
you can put a bad card in either deck.
I mean, you can attach Prime Pan so it takes less damage. You can attach to Electro Power so it does more damage. You can attach Metal Goggles. There's so many things you can attach.
You can do Full Metal Core Barrier, the Core Barrier or whatever, to reduce it by 70. Yep. That was the thing that I was mainly thinking about too, and I'm like, I just slap that on it with and play it in Lucario Melmetal, and just do a stall deck, but with this searching for your trainer card that you're attaching to it or using for it. It's a low tier crap deck. It's just it's one of those things you can just take and play casually, and it can actually do something casually.
Yeah. Plus, with Sero, that has free retreat cost as well.
Yeah.
It just has a lot of support, so it could potentially.
It's a bad card that you can put in either Metal or a Lightning. Yeah.
I would see
it can be bad in both.
We got a Magnezone GX. I could see this being a bit something as a tech card for that. Even then, you probably run the other baby ones that we have. But then again, those do rotate next year, and by the time we probably won't get a Magnezone. I'm just.
So not very effective all around.
We have Magnezones that are not very effective, but potentially a lot.
But cute, yeah.
It's a cute card.
So we're gonna go ahead and take a small break, and once you hear from our sponsors, we'll be back to finish off Unified Minds set review. We'll be right back.
Hey Puckalonians, it's Sublime Manic. Can't get enough of your favorite flip-flopping podcast? Then check out our social media. You can find links to our Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, and YouTube, all from our website, pucklepodcast.com. And you can join our Discord to hang out with your favorite hosts and other Puckalonians. Also, check us out at twitch.tv/thepucklepodcast. And if you have an Amazon Prime account, consider subscribing to our Twitch channel. You can also check us out at YouTube at YouTube/PucklePodcast, and we also have a Patreon if you're able to give anything at patreon.com/PucklePodcast.
And we are back to the Unified Minds set review with none other than Sublime and Shamu, not Sigma and Zavilo. That's a joke for Sublime.
It's because you love S names. You love S names.
Yes, well, Poco loves S names. They just love them. We have a few more cards to go before we finish the set review, so let's go ahead and just jump back into that. And I'm going to start with a little baby dragon that I never talked before. It's one of my least favorite legendaries, honestly. Full-on confession. But I really like what this time it brought in, so I want to talk about that, and that is Latios GX. Now, this Latios is not a dragon, it's a psychic instead with 170 HP. It has an ability and 2 attacks. Its ability is Power Bind. If you have 4 or less Pokemon in play, this Pokemon can attack. Now, straight off the bat, this is a against the card. However, let's continue on. Its first attack, Tag Purge, when 1 psychic and 2 colorless, does 120 damage. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon can't be damaged by attacks from tag team Pokemon, providing you a good shield. And then its GX attack, Clear Vision GX, until the end of the turn.
End of the game,
sorry. Your opponent can't use GX attacks, and this is the reason why I chose this card. Its weakness to Psychic, which your Jirachi GX could actually help, and it's
not really. It's 170 HP.
Well, true, but it could still save it.
It'll tank Nagana does full power attack.
Exactly. With Jirachi GX, but with a 0 retreat cost. So I really wanted to. I think this is a card that is going to bring a lot of opinions. So I want to jump into that.
Yeah.
Let's start with you, Shimu. What do you think about Latios GX?
When I saw Clear Vision, I really liked this card. And then I read Channeler, which is also in this set.
Channeler cancels the Tag Purge.
Yep. It cancels Tag Purge and Clear Vision. Because it removes all effects on... It removes all effects on you.
No, I don't think it cancels Clear Vision.
It should, because how it works, how it's detected.
Okay, could you read Channeler? What's Channeler?
I will.
I thought it was just your Pokemon.
Remove all effects of attacks on you and your Pokemon.
Yup, that removes Clear Vision.
So, essentially, if this sees play, Channeler will see play as like a 1 or a 2 of, probably just a 1 of, and this card is just useless, unfortunately.
I don't think it's useless, though, actually, because I thought the same thing about Channeler, and here's...
I'm over-exaggerating, but, like, it's kind of one of the things, like, it cancels all these things that it does.
You would never build a deck around this, I don't think.
No.
It's not enough. Yeah. However, you can put a 1-of in your Psychic decks, right? Like, or whatever Malamar variant you're running, you could throw Latios GX in it, and there will be times where it's good to have.
That's fair.
And because it's not going to be, like, really prominent, I don't think they're going to tech your tech.
Yeah.
So I don't expect Channeler to be that prominent for it, even though it completely hard counters this card.
Yeah. No, there's a card that completely channels it. That is for sure. But we've had cards that completely targets a card, and it really, and of course this is not to say that it's the same case in this case, but for example, with Lauren, was it Lauren? I forgot her name.
Karen?
Was announced. Karen, there you go. It was, people thought it was going to be the death of Night March, and
it kind of was.
It kind of wasn't. No, Night March continued.
Yeah, it is, but like,
that game, and it continued to, and it's continued relevant, regardless of the fact that Karen exists, and Karen exists specifically to counter Night March. So, just because there's one card that counters a whole deck doesn't mean that that's the point. Now, I'm not also saying that Latios is Night March material. Far from it. No. But its GX attack, I see potentials in those stalling decks that would love to get rid of GX attacks that could really damage them. I'm thinking Shreninja decks. I'm talking about the just other decks that could eliminate the option of GX for the opponent. For example, those that use I forgot the Metal Ultra Beast. The one that is the GX attack is for 1.
Celesteela?
Celesteela that you acquire just 1 price. Just use the
Cortana.
Cortana, there we go.
Oh, right.
Like this will completely remove that as an option for those players that use Cortana for that option. So it is something that I could see some use.
I think it will see play, actually, just because it's easy to splash in a Psychic deck, right? Like, and Malamar is still such a good engine, so... Plus 0 retreat cost helps those as well. It's not, like, listen, there have already been plenty of Pokemon that had an ability, that just made them immune to GXs, right? And this is much more specific. You have to attack to be immune only to tag team GXs.
Yep.
And I don't think those cards were very good to begin with.
No.
When they were just straight up immune to GXs. So I don't think anything this does is really spectacular. Collectively, I think it's enough that you can throw one in a deck and it'll be fine.
Yeah. What I also like it actually does great pairing with Alolan Muck or anything that shuts down abilities, because you want to shut down that ability.
It is rotating, yeah.
Alolan Muck is rotating?
Yeah, that's like Guardians Rising Sun. No, Sun and Moon, actually, yeah. It's gone.
Yeah, there we go.
Definitely
but anything else that would, like Silent Lab or anything like that.
Yeah, that works for that, though, actually. That's not bad.
It would eliminate the power bind.
I don't even think the power bind is that big of an issue, to be honest.
I mean, neither, honestly.
It's there. It is a hindrance that exists, but you can negate it with stuff like Silent. There's ways to get rid of it.
You're probably going to have 4 Pokemon in play most of the time.
Yeah, because you're probably playing this in a Psychic deck anyway. They're probably not playing
and that
it
you have those
anything.
Malamars on the bench.
You're going to have like 2
the main attacker.
No,
so you're going to have something else on there in addition to the Malamars. So I don't think no. Plus, it counts towards the 4, so you only need 3 other things.
So
no, you have to have 5. That's the thing. You have to have 4 or less. So
I'm gonna give.
or less. I didn't realize that.
Yes, it's less. Yeah.
I thought it was 4 or more.
I'm gonna go ahead and give it an effective. I know it's verging to the not very effective, but I think it's a very interesting tech card that might see some play in ways that we didn't expect it to. So what about you, Shimu?
Like, I want to say effective, but I'm like on that teetering point because it is a good tech. I will give it that. It is a great tech. It's just the fact that even though we do have ways to shut down the ability, that's one hindrance there. You're not going to really be, you can use Tag Purge if you need to, but that's not the reason you're playing it. You're playing it for clear vision, and it's the fact that, it's, in a way it is, but, it's just Channeler exists, and that just makes me not, there's just too many negatives to this for it to be that, super, it does get rid of a GX attack, cool, but, that hurts Pikachu.
That's not that impressive. You don't even do anything with your GX attack, right?
No, that's your GX.
Can't do it.
Because you think, you're just making this a GX-less attack, game, and then if they Channeler, it's oh, I just wasted my 1 of attack. Oh, it's just, it could see play. I gotta say not very effective. I want to say effective, it's just that there's too many things at this moment in time that are against it.
Yeah. Totally understandable. What about you, Sublime?
I think it's effective.
Okay.
That's all. It's not
just
great,
a nice little
terrible.
effective, yep.
Yeah,
it's the same thing with me.
I think it's going to see play as a one-of in some Psychic decks.
Yeah.
And as someone as me, for example, that I like to play non-GX attacks decks. Yes, I know it's surprising since I love P.U.C.L so much, but to be fair, P.U.C.L is the only tag team that I really enjoy playing.
I think this hurts P.U.C.L a lot too. this is really strong against P.U.C.L.
It is.
And when you're playing non-GX decks, there is always a struggle of there is the GX issue that we have to deal with, and many times either we put a GX attack that is low cost and does something helpful for us, but I think the ability, if you're playing a non-GX deck, the ability to eliminate the GX viable option for your opponent in a deck designed to not use GX attacks, such as, for example, Spirit Tomb or other cards such as that. I love Spirit Tomb. It's my favorite deck right now. Oh, what are you talking about? Spirit Tomb is amazing.
It is a good deck, but
it kind of gets killed by the set too because of Blizzard City, which if it has 40 or less HP, Pokemon can't
attack at all.
So that deck is kind of hurt a lot.
Yeah, it is, but it's as an example of other decks, because it's not just particularly Spirit Tomb. I bring Spirit Tomb just because it doesn't use GX attacks.
Yeah.
As a way of playing this, of you eliminating the option of a GX and just getting rid of a lot of yours.
Channel hard counters it, though, Channeler.
Yeah. So it does.
Yeah.
If you're afraid of it, you'll just throw in a Channeler.
Yeah.
That is for true. Okay, with that being said, though, let's go and move on the next one. Sublime, what's your next card?
Well, I was saving this for last, but I'm going to do it now because since you're so anti-GX, I'm going to be pro-GX and talk about Cherish Ball. Search your deck for Pokemon GX, reveal it, and put it in your hand. We're losing so many consistency cards and so many search cards Guess what just got better, or much more consistent to use is, like, your deck, like, focus. GX cards.
GXs. Yep.
So go get yourself a set of Cherish Ball, because you need it.
There's nothing really else to say. It doesn't say basic Pokemon. It doesn't say just basic GX.
Any GX.
It's just say any GX. It's Nest Ball for GX, but better for GX. Because you can search whatever GX you need.
Yep.
There's just nothing else to say. It's an amazing card.
Yeah.
Super effective.
Yeah, it's
super effective for
simple.
This is unanimous. Like, I don't see how this is not super effective. Like,
yeah, it's just no way of this not.
I discard the top 10 cards of my deck, and then I get to add a GX from my deck. Like, no, it's just you just add one. You don't lose anything.
Oh yeah, grab it. Yep, whatever you need. No, doesn't matter. It's gonna be in your hand.
Say, like, GXs are like, we need to think about ways to make our decks really fast and consistent since we're losing so much search.
Yeah,
this is one of the few search ones.
Yeah.
So guys. Summary: get yourself 4 Cherish Ball. You're going to use them.
And I don't think it's on any of our lists, but while you're getting yourself a set of that, get 4 hard stamps too.
Oh, a reset stamp?
Anyway.
Yeah.
That's the one, reset stamp.
Yeah, no.
Could you remind, would you
get
tell...
a set of that. Okay, so, yeah, sure. I would have picked it, but I only had 5 slots. Basically, it's N as an item that only affects your opponent. It's incredible disruption, right? So if they have 2 prizes left, you play it. It's an item, mind you. And then they shuffle and draw 2.
Yeah.
It's going to change the way decks are built. It's going to change the way decks are built.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, Shamu, what's your next one?
To go with your Latios, I picked
I love this.
The baby Latias.
Yes.
Which is a dragon with 120 HP.
Which I was just about to choose that
we
one.
We all chose a dragon.
GX, huh. But I went with Latios GX. I'm so glad that you went with Latios.
I love this thing so much, but it's got this really crappy attack for 2 fire, 1 colorless called Speedwing. That does 100 damage. No one cares about that. It's weak to fairy, no resistance, 1 retreat cost, which is it's nice because the really only important thing requires 1 psychic energy called Energy Arrow. It does 20 times. It's 20 times. It does 20 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon for each energy attached to that Pokemon, and it's not affected by weakness or resistance. So, like, this won't hit for a lot in most cases, but it's more or less saying, like, I think we see, like, 4 energy on stuff kind of right now, and possibly for 6, or 6 if you're playing, like, Pikarom without, like, whatever it's called, Thunder State, or Thunder Mountain. So you're hitting for, like, 120, 80 kind of, which... It's not a lot, but for 1 energy and a 1 prize attacker, that could change stuff. And even with Giratina Garchomp, you just slap this down, you put a Rainbow Energy on it, or even the Psychic Energy, because you're playing Psychic and Fighting in that deck. So you can just slap this down, snipe for like a couple here, a couple there, and then Calamity Edge is online.
And it's only 1 prize.
Yep.
With 120 on a basic.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Yeah, it's a sniper. It's a very surprisingly powerful sniper.
It is.
Yep.
Because if they're trying to build something up on their bench, you'll be like,
Nope.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's gonna punish it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can just set this up stage 1 for psychic energy, and there you go. You're already hitting those baby Pokemon. Those basic Pokemon with just 1 or 2 energies are already sweating.
It hurts Nagaquag because you can snipe the Quagsire. They're putting it onto what's it called? A Wailord Magikarp on the bench. You can just snipe that for a chunk. Like they've got 5 energy. Oh, guess what? You just did 100 to them. Like,
that's kind of funny.
For 1 prize, you can come and kill it. It's fine. It's just 1 prize, baby.
Yeah, it's 1 prize.
I'm coming after the other 3 behind that Wailord.
Yeah, you softened up for something else to kill. Like, we'll say, okay. So let's say it's got 6 energy on it. You hit it for...
Although...
Well, we'll say it's even
if they have 6 energy on it, you're probably pretty deep into the game.
Yeah, I get it.
At which point you might have something that would just hit much harder.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly why it's so beautiful, though, because you can play it at any time for 1 psychic energy, and it's ready to go.
And it's good to go.
Your opponent won't see it coming, yeah.
But, I don't know.
It's good, but it does have its downsides to a degree. It's just still a solid card, because, like...
It is.
Because at least in Giratina Garchomp's case, like, for example, we'll say they have 6. You do 120. They're both inactive. So you do 120, you die, Giratina Garchomp comes in. You hit with Calamity Edge, that knocks out. Even if they use a Great Potion, which is it's a 50 heal for GXs only, you still kill it. Because it's like, I think it's only off by, like, you kill it with like 10 extra damage or like 20. I'm not doing the math. I'm too lazy right now. But,
no worries.
But, like, it's just the fact that it softens up a lot of things. It's not, like, overall spread, but it allows you to hit those big, bulky things for a bit more damage.
And this is not a revenge killer or anything. This
if they don't have any energy, too, though. I wish it was 20 plus instead of 20.
Yeah, that would be awesome if it was 20 plus, but, at least it's, like, it's a powerful attack. You can only go so far.
Yeah.
You're giving it energy drive
really
for one energy.
Exactly. Yeah, I understand Shamu completely. Like, underestimating the fact that you have a basic Pokemon with 120 HP that does 20 times the amount of energy your opponent Pokemon, any Pokemon, including bench Pokemon, can do. And on top of that, it's just one Psychic with one retreat cost. So, for example, we just discussed the U-turn board. Yes. It already gives free retreat cost to this. It has so many things going for it that we're not saying that this is going to be the main attacker. This means this is going to be an excellent, I call these pressure Pokemon that are designed to put pressure on your opponent. Like, he thinks he's in a safe space where he's setting up his Pokemon because he has this really powerful Pokemon in the active, and he's setting up his even more powerful Pokemon in your bench, and then suddenly you play something with Latias, then you're suddenly hitting those Pokemon on your bench, and your opponent is in the pressure of having to do whatever he was planning. He has to accelerate those plans because now his safe Pokemon are not anymore safe. So it is worth noting, however, that Mew is still a thing, though.
Yeah.
The Mew that protects your bench, so that's important to also note. However, I still see Latias for what it is, and it's a strong attacker. So Shamu, what do you give it?
I'm gonna say super effective. I just think that attack's too good.
I'm gonna go ahead with you, and I see it. Yeah, super effective for me as well.
Y'all overhyping it. I think it's effective.
That's fair. It's fair. I am overhyping it. I won't deny that. It's just I still think it's really good though.
And you're overhyping work because you got me all right up with Latias. I love it. So there you go, guys. It's Latias. From Unified Minds, getting 2 super effective and 1 effective from Sublime. Now, move on. Let's go back to me, and this is the last
this is the best part of the set.
This is the best part of the set. Yeah, we left the best for last. So let's go ahead and just tackle right in. I just discussed how Latias is one of my least favorite legendary Pokemon. So we're gonna go on to what is possibly my 2 favorite Pokemon of all time, and yes, it might sound like I'm a Gen 1er, but it really is not. It's just that Mewtwo and Mew have always spoken to me as legendary. I love them. And
I love fetus cat fetuses, yeah.
Yep, Mewtwo and Mew GX is the card that I'm talking about. Tag team with my 2 favorite legendaries of all time. They're Psychic with 270 HP, which is fantastic, honestly. And it has an ability, an attack, and a ability and a GX attack, actually. So let's go ahead and do that. The ability, Perfection. This Pokemon can use the attacks of any GX and Pokemon EX on your bench or in your discard pile, which is pretty ridiculous. You still need the necessary energies to actually use the attacks, of course, but that on of itself is amazing. Its GX attack is called Miracle Twin for GX for 200 damage for 2 Psychics and 1 Colorless, plus if this Pokemon has at least 1 extra energy, just 1 measly, not 7, not 10, just 1. In addition to this Pokemon attacks, heal all damage from each of your Pokemon, and deal the 200 damage. Weakness to Psychic. I like to remind you guys of Jirachi GX.
I don't know why, but yeah.
And retreat cost of 2 with resistance to none. I love Mewtwo and Mew GX, and I want to know what you guys think about that. Let's start with you, Sublime. What do you think?
It's the strongest card in the set.
Yeah. It is just so powerful.
I think this is the tag team of the set, really. Like, first, what was it? Tag team originally had Pikarom be the star, then there was Reshizard. This is the next fat. Like, this is the star of the set.
And we just discussed how we're losing a little in Muck. We still have Silent Lab, but obviously it's much easier to get rid of stadiums than it is to get rid of Pokemon on your bench, on your opponent's bench. So there is pros and cons to the rotation coming out, but I still believe that post-rotation is even going to make this card even more powerful.
Oh no, this is an extremely powerful card because you can build a deck around it and it'll be good, but also what I really love about it is you can put this as a 1-of or a 2-of in any deck. And it you're like, oh, I'm really weak to water. Not anymore. Just use your Mewtwo and Mew-GX. Tag team.
Put those maybe under discard pile when they're not costing your opponents any prizes.
Which is why I don't think Jirachi's even relevant at all to it, because you're using this in my the best way to use this in my mind is as coverage against your weakness from something else.
Yeah, 100%.
Because it goes splashable into any deck as, oh, now you have a Psychic type to attack with that will use the same attacks as what you would normally use if it's not safe to use that.
Yep.
But you can also totally build decks around this too. I love it. It's an extremely powerful card.
What about you, Shimu? You've been silent.
I know it's good. It's it's got powerful ability, powerful attack. I'm just I get why, but at the same time, it's just I have no excitement for this card at all.
Okay.
I'm I have no pulse with this. There's nothing. It's the thing
a
you
card
check
can
in
be
it.
really strong without you being excited for it. That makes that's fine.
It's a good thing you can put in any deck. That's how I see it as. Though people are building decks around it, which
I love. So it can go.
I love it, but it seems janky, real janky with the build lists I've seen that are actually working, and I'm just I don't get you're running you have energy spinner, so things that are consistent energy wise, but it's just they're running 6 different energies because they have 7 different types of GXs in their deck.
So you know how we talked about how Fossil Lab is going to take a ton of experimentation?
Yeah.
That's this, except it's tier 1.
Yeah.
It's going to depend on the meta, and it'll probably a deck focused on this card will probably change every major regional or whatever or tournament. It's gonna probably they see this this is what they're running. Let me make mine counter this now. And it's just what's going to be kind of... There'll probably be a couple staple cards, Pokemon-wise.
What's so great about it, too, is... Not only is it great for, any deck you're already running, because you can just add it for, type coverage and...
I get that. I
weakness,
I get that.
But then, it's one of those cards that, the sky's the limit in terms of creativity. And we're always going to be seeing new things paired with it that are just going to go, whoa, mind blown.
Yeah.
Take that, Blacephalon.
No, I guess the only other thing, too, you gotta think, too, you can use those Pokemon's GX attacks, too.
Yep, sure can.
That's something to keep in mind.
I don't especially care for Miracle Twin if you're putting this in another type of deck,
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Because, if you're not, you might not want to run Psychic Energy. You don't even have to, because you can use your other GX attacks.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you're playing Pikachu, and you're playing against a fighting type deck? Oh, no worries. Just put your Pikachu in your discard pile and put Mewtwo Mew. And there you go.
Really,
you use all of Pikachu's attacks, including its GX attack, with perfection, and don't have to even worry about the weakness to fighting. In fact, you're probably even doing weakness to them because you're psychic.
Yeah,
so,
this is the strongest Pokemon in the set, I think.
Yeah, I agree too. Super effective for me. I assume you guys, what are you going to give it?
Of course, super effective.
Super effective. It is a good card. You should try to pick up 2 of them at the very least.
Yeah, yes, I think 2 is a good amount. Unless you're building around it.
I think 2 is a good amount for any tag team GX.
I think 3, if you're building a deck around it, is an option in case 1 is prized. You definitely shouldn't need more than 3.
No, you should not.
Even with prize, you still have Gideon, for example.
No, we won't. I don't believe. I think that's rotating.
Oh, no, post rotation. I have to read up on rotations again.
I could be wrong on that one, but I believe that one is that's Burning Shadows or something like that, or Guardians of Rising.
There you go. But that's a bit. That's Mewtwo and Mew-GX, the legendary duo together at last, fighting.
Best Pokemon card in the set.
For the first time working together, and it just shows you how much power there is in those 2 Pokemon. Now, Sublime, what's your last Pokemon?
So my last pick I'm not super excited about, but it's Naganadel GX, the other Naganadel GX. It's the other white meat, it's Naganadel GX.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. It's dragon type, so not a psychic type. It's a dragon type. We all chose a lot of dragons, which is interesting because usually it's such a bad type.
And no dragon energy still.
There's still
But we get end resolve later on in the next set, which is essentially dragon energy.
That's true.
I miss Double Dragon. That was one of my favorite cards. Anyway, expanded. So Naganadel GX has 210 HP. It's an Ultra Beast, of course, with the ability Ultra Conversion. Once during your turn before you attack, you may discard an Ultra Beast from your hand to draw 3 cards. That's actually the reason I chose this. But let's look at the other things. You have Venom Shot for 1 Psychic and 3 colorless. Venom Shoot, actually. Discard 2 energy from this Pokemon, and it does 170 to one of your opponent's Pokemon. So, yeah. Another bench sniper.
Good. Yep.
And
that
then
knocks out a full Tapu Lele.
Knocks out Jirachi GX.
It does. It knocks out Latios.
Not a fan of that card.
Not
a fan of that card.
It knocked out a lot of things.
And we need to remind you that this is accelerated by not you. I said
triple colorless,
by triple colorless energies.
Yeah, and actually,
the
things this snipes
to discard energies for this Pokemon too.
Yeah, like think about like the reason Pikarom is so good is for that amount of damage to the bench, and this does that potentially every turn. So, and then the GX attack is Injection for a lightning. So you got to change the dragon color somehow, right? So they did it on the GX attack. It's only one though. Choose a card from your opponent's discard pile and put it face down as a prize in front of your Pokemon.
Ouch.
That's
fun.
That is.
It's so great.
That is
like,
a GX
even if
attack.
it just gave them another prize, that'd be annoying. But you get to choose something from their discard pile in case they were going to use it later.
You choose it, you show it to them, and then you put it face down for them.
While you're still maintaining eye contact.
Were you going to use this? Were you going to use this?
No, I would like to know. I assume it shuffles the prizes after that, but I don't know if it does.
Yeah.
I don't think it does.
Because then they can just get it.
Where it is.
Doesn't say
shuffle,
yeah,
but they have to draw a prize. So you're delaying access, and also
just make sure that you use this. Don't lose eye contact.
I like every single aspect of this card. Also, retreat cost of 1, weakness to fairy, so which is low retreat cost. The reason I like it, especially, is for the ability Ultra Conversion. I think out of all the decks post rotation, Ultra Beasts have the most search consistency and draw power. So I'm curious to see if that'll make them better than they are currently.
And with their price manipulation, I mean,
exactly.
That's their focus as well.
I mean, we just saw another Naganadel win North American Internationals, as Jashira will love to remember. So yeah, I mean, like we all love Zoroark for the draw.
Yeah,
this is more specific because you have to discard an Ultra Beast, but then you can draw 3. I think it's a really powerful draw engine for Ultra Beast box decks. Decks. So,
like, Toolbox.
Toolbox. Yeah, a Beast box, right?
Beast box. Yeah.
Because like we're losing so much consistency in search, and this has like I think Ultra Beasts have the most post rotation.
They do
intact, right? So
they have a lot of support. They work well. I'm surprised that Ultra Beast Toolbox are more common.
I think they might be common after the rotation because they're taking a lot less hits compared to other archetypes.
Yep.
So
there you go. So let's go ahead and give it a rating. Yeah. What do you give it, Sublime?
I think it's super effective.
Super effective. What about you, Shamu?
I agree with super effective. I just want to mention too because like this could be used in Nagaquag because you can just use the Nagandels to get the energy, put it onto
it's
it,
nice
and you're
because
pitching
if
2.
You're running Naganadel, you can throw one in.
Yeah, like you can throw one in and just start sniping, and then essentially, if they do have a lot of like tag teams, you soften those up a lot, and that way, like Nagando or Quagsire can kill the others. So it's a very solid option. I think
sniping for 170 is
for
strong.
Me as well.
Yeah.
The HP is nice. 210 on a stage 1 is pretty bulky.
Yeah.
Its attack is consistent, even though it might not appear it. With a triple energy acceleration, it's pretty consistent.
Plus, Ultra Beasts like get energy acceleration when you least expect it too, with them Beast Rings.
Yep. And then the retreat cost is also pretty low, something that one skateboard and return board can just completely automatically turn it into
card draw.
A0.
And it gives you card draw when you want it, so.
Yep. So it is definitely a great card. Naganadel GX, super effective across the board. Get yourself 2 or 3 of them.
I think
if you
2's
plan
enough
to play this baby. Yep.
Yeah, unless you make a deck specifically around it, I think 2's probably fine.
For a beast box, especially, you're running a lot of things. 2 should be fine.
Yeah. And its weakness to Fairy is always nice, because Fairy, unless you're fighting against Whimsicott GX or Gardevoir GX, which are 2 decks that are climbing in popularity, but not still there.
We'll see how. Let's see what happens post rotation. I'm interested.
Because Gardevoir will be gone post rotation, so we'll just have.
But Gardevoir Sylveon will still.
Oh, Gardevoir Sylveon. Yeah, that's the thing. I thought you said Gardevoir.
Yeah.
That's why I just got.
He did.
Oh.
Yeah, I mentioned both of them, Whimsicott and Gardevoir.
But Gardevoir Sylveon tag team, I think, is what we were talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So with that, let's go ahead and move on to our last card, and we give that a huge honor to our boy Shamu. What is the last card of the set?
So we're gonna go to the Shadow Realm and talk about Dark.
Yes.
So the card specifically chosen was Weavile, but we're just gonna cover all the fun Dark stuff we got because
this was a good
this set makes Dark viable.
It really does. This is the moment.
It was already okay. But now you've got Dark City.
It was approaching playability, and now it's there, I think.
Yeah. You've got Dark City Stadium. Gives you free retreat on all your Dark basics. Fantastic. So you've got the Tyranitar, the T-Tar Sableye, no retreat. Darkrai Umbreon, no retreat. Granzoro, no retreat.
Yep.
You're playing Guzzlord for some reason, no retreat. You just get free retreat on all darks, and I believe it is your opponents as well, though. But still, it's
basics. Gotta be basic, though.
You gotta be basics, though. It's both opponent, no retreat cost, so it's fantastic. We do get the Umbreon Darkrai, which essentially with the 150 and snipes for 60 on a bench tag team GX or is it tag team? I think it's just a GX or an EX. I need to look it up real quick.
I think it's GX or EX. You're right.
But
the fact that it's 60 is a lot nicer than 30, I will say. So.
Yeah, it's for a 2 dark, 1 colorless of Black Lance for 150, does 60 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon GX or Pokemon EX, don't apply weakness. GX attack is Dead Moon GX for 1 colorless plus. Your opponent cannot play any trainer cards from her hand during the next turn. If this Pokemon has at least 5 extra darkness energy attached to it. In addition, it is now not their opponent's active Pokemon is now knocked out,
isn't it? Yep.
Yes, it's like just knocked out. But you essentially need 6. You need 6 energy,
which is not hard in the dark box we're getting.
It's not hard, but why?
You need to
why just knock it out when you can smack it for 210 with Greed Crash from Mega Sableye and T-Tar?
That I'm so excited for.
Also, before I forgot,
you take an extra prize.
Yeah, I forgot to say, Darkrai Umbreon has 270 HP, weak to Psychic. Wait, what?
Weak to fighting?
Weakness to Psychic.
No, it's weakness fighting. The Pokebeach is wrong.
Oh, it is weakness fighting.
It's weakness fighting, resistant to Psychic.
Yeah, Pokebeach made a mistake there.
Yeah. Oh, but you know what else would go really great in this dark tech we're talking about?
Jirachi GX?
Oh. The Mewtwo.
That would be good for fighting.
Weak to fighting, did you
look at that.
Okay.
Mega Sableye Tyranitar, it's got 280. For 4 darkness, 1 colorless, you do Greed Crash, does 210, and if they're active with a GX or EX and is knocked out by damage from this attack, you take an extra prize. So you can get 4 prize cards from a tag team.
It's insane.
And then for its GX attack, it's the same cost, but if you have 5 additional energy attached to this Pokemon.
So that's 10 energy, let's just keep that in mind.
It does 250 damage, but you need 10 energy. Discard 15 cards from the top of your opponent's deck. And that same weakness and resistance as Darkrai Umbreon with a retreat of 4. So, those are the new 2 actual attackers we got.
But, they synergize so well with some of the ones we've been getting, right?
Yeah, and then
is amazing energy acceleration.
Yeah, you just boom them out in the deck.
Weavile lets you move all the energy around. The stadium
we haven't talked about Weavile yet.
Retreat.
Weavile is what makes this deck work.
Let's talk about Weavile then.
Yeah, because it's 200 HP. For 2 darkness and a colorless, does Claw Slash, does 130,
It
whatever.
is a GX, by the way.
It is a GX, yeah.
You didn't mention that.
So guess what? For 2 dark, 1 colorless, you do Claw Slash, 130. No one cares about that. For one color...
Irrelevant.
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 One color lets you do Night Order GX. Search your deck for any number of basic Pokemon, put them on your bench, then shuffle your deck.
I didn't even know about that GX.
So
attack.
so essentially
stopped there.
You do your GX, but you just build your bench.
You set up your bench, exactly.
We're playing build a bench here with this Weavile.
You can just build a bench. With all these big dark types.
Oh yeah. Weak to fighting, resistant to psychic, same old, 1 retreat cost. But the reason you run this card for its ability, Shadow Connection. So, it's not like other Pokemon where it's like only once or whatever. And as often as you like during your turn, before your attack, you may move a basic dark energy from one of your Pokemon in play to another one of your Pokemon in play. So, it's not like Quagsire from bench to active. This is from anywhere. So you can bring all your active's energy to your bench. All your benched to another benched. Or bench to active.
Or all to an active, yeah.
You can move them around anywhere.
It reminds me a lot, Dark currently reminds me a lot of where Fairy was when it was first introduced. Where you had a lot of energy moving around and free retreat.
And then, thinking about the Dark toolbox though is, they're all GXs. So you've got Cherish Ball.
There's a lot of options. There
are a lot
of options to run too.
Yeah, you can search for all your key components.
So many Darks to choose from.
Other than Sneasel, essentially, with the Cherish Ball. So you've got and with the Incineroar too. It's just you just take 30.
I love Incineroar in the Dark deck with Nanu, just because it gives you a lot of energy acceleration. And once you have that energy on the board, you're shuffling it around however you want.
Oh, yeah. And then
that lets you kill things with the Greninja Zoroark, just based on the amount of energy you have total. That could be killing. That could be powering up your Tyranitar Sableye.
And worst case, if you're powering up that
you're taking out extra prizes.
Oh yeah,
there's a lot of good options in this deck. I think it's going to be a good deck. I'm very curious to see what the final deck lists are going to look like, though, because there are so many options.
There are so many variants. Because I am a prefer of just Grenzoro, but I know Umbreon Darkrai is being seen just because of the sniping. But it's just it is for 3 energy. You're doing 150, which is more than what Grenzoro would do. It's just I am just a big fan of that acceleration, and it's a 2 energy attack. And if I have built up, I could just beam that out, move 2, and I attack again.
But since they're all basics, I'd be curious to see if maybe there's just going to be a Dark box, right, that just runs some of each.
Yeah.
I'll be very interested to see what makes the cut and in what numbers. But yeah, Dark is where it's at.
Does Black Market...
We're excited about Dark.
Quick question. Does Black Market trigger on when you get attacked, or is it when your Pokemon faints with a Dark? It's when attack. Okay. Because I was wondering about nanoing the Incineroar away with a Dark energy on it into something that's lower HP, but if that's how it works, then Black Market wouldn't trigger, and you lose the pro. But it's still worth a thing. If you've got a Pokemon with they've got 10 HP left, you just nano into a basic that you take. They just take a prize instead of 3 or 2.
Right, but still, with all of the options Dark has right now, I think it's in a really good spot, and it hasn't been in a very long time, I feel like.
No, what was the last Dark deck? I think it was Darkrai with Dark Pulse. It was essentially the same kind of deck. It was just based around, and we had Dark Patch.
Different era. When Dark Patch was in, you're right.
Yeah.
Although I wouldn't even consider that top tier. It's good.
No, it was not top tier, but it saw some play because
it's second tier. It was
because you had you had the no retreat cost too for Dark types on a Darkrai, and you had Night Spear, which was it was 90, but you sniped for 30. So it's you had, and it was just you kind of had the things we have now, but they were on just Darkrai.
Yeah.
And Darkrai's Dark Pulse
I think there was a Darkrai that did, wasn't there a Darkrai that did damage based on the amount of total Dark on your side?
Yeah, that's a Dark Pulse one. It's like Grenzoro, but it's just 2 colorless, so
but weaker. But it also did 20 instead of 30 for each
It did, yeah.
So.
But then again, you weren't dealing with tag teams. The worst thing you had was a Wailord with 200 or 250.
If you get 200, you were good.
So
Dark is where it's at.
Guys.
Let's just say Dark Toolbox is super effective collectively.
I'm gonna say the same.
Cards
Agreed. Let's hire. Can we just Can we say it's quad effective?
I sometimes say that. I think it's just super effective. I want to see how good it turns out to be, though. I'm very excited.
I've just been so excited for Dark once Incineroar came out.
Me too.
Once that card came out, I just knew, like, this is going places. Like, just to take 3.
For me, it was the Greninja Zoro art.
Yeah, and then that came out, and then it was even better.
So, and that's the end of our set review for Unified Minds. My question to you is, now that we reviewed our individual top favorites, let's give our overall critique of the set and give it a 1 to 10 Pokeballs. How good do you think it is? Shamu, let's start with you. Well, what is your average rating for Unified Minds?
I don't think it's a 10. I'm gonna say an 8. If I could say an 8.5, I would. Cause it's good. It's got good stuff in it. I think we'll see some. I don't know if we have everything revealed from Cosmic Eclipse yet, because I think Cosmic Eclipse has a couple draw cards too that are just like powerful, like really strong stuff. That might kind of replace stuff. Just like Roxy, off the top of my head, is one that's like just solid. But...
Nice. What about you, Sublime?
I would also give it an 8. It's not the best set, but it's a good set. Although, I'm thinking about maybe should we take a star off just because it's too darn big?
Well, I think that's part of my rating of 8. It's also the fact that it's so big.
Yeah, I think 8 is fair. Because big sets are more likely to have lots of good cards, and there are a lot of good cards.
Yeah.
But is that just because it's too big that there's that number of good cards? I think 8 is fair. 8 is fair.
Yeah. There we go. So we got an 8.5 from Shamu, an 8 from me and Sublime on Unified Minds. I hope you guys enjoyed our critique of this and what you guys think. I know that Worlds is right around the corner, so we're super excited for that. So stay tuned for our a September show, which will be our post Worlds discussion, and that should be a lot of fun. So until then, guys, if you like what you listen, remember we're not the only show Paco has. Paco, please go ahead and follow Taj on his main flagship show every Monday of every week. You will also find Game Corner, Battlecast, and other shows at Paco Plus, such as this one. If you guys also enjoy the community, which is honestly the protagonist of the Paco universe is the community, please go ahead and join us on our Facebook groups, our Twitter accounts, our Twitch TV, shameless plug. I'm there, at least I try every Monday, but I am every week for sure. And last but certainly not least, if you have the ability to do so, please donate to Paco. Become a Patreon. Every single dollar comes back to the community. Nothing is. We only use that money to improve the shows or improve the ability of doing events with the community. So become one, and you'll be doing a lot. Not to mention that Dutch is being extra super awesome with all the extra content that it's given to our Patreon members. So. Excellent with that. And with that being said, you can already hear the guitar in the background. Thank you so much for being here today. Shamu, thank you so much for being on the show today.
No problem.
Thank you. And Sublime, love you as always, bro.
So glad to be your future neighbor.
Yes, you're just going to be a 20-hour train away, which is nothing. And with that, guys, it's close.